Okay, so today's lesson we are going ahead with learning how to properly play a heavy right part of the hand and a left part of the hand. Sometimes in music, when we play the piano, one part of the hand has to play a little heavier than the other part of the hand as an accompaniment. So usually we have a melody going on here and an accompaniment going on down here. Or it could be the other way too. And a melody right here and an accompaniment up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some chords. We're going to use our skill degree chords and we're going to practice splitting our hand in half. The preparatory step would be to practice starting with power chords for the triads, then we're going to do 3 and 5 of the chord, and then we're going to do all 3. And we're going to practice both ways. As we ascend, we're going to practice this as the highest or the loudest note, while these fingers, either one or both, will be the softer ones. And then when we descend, we're going to play this one as the loudest one, and these ones are going to be the softer ones. Okay, so the first step will be power chords. And of course, this can be done with both the right and left hand. So we're going to do it with both hands together. So first, we're going to ascend while playing power chords. We're going to do this in C major. So our melody notes are in either the thumb or the right hand. Now, for the purposes of the lesson, or for learning yourself, we're not going to do both hands together like I'm doing now. I'm simply doing both hands together for the purposes of this video. Okay, so this will be done one hand at a time first. Okay, here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is play the top note while barely touching or barely depressing the bottom note of the power chord in such a light fashion that you can either not hear it or barely hear it. And we're going to ascend. Here we go. And now we're going to go the other way. Okay, very good. So we're going to practice barely touching. Then we're going to play very, very lightly. Okay, here we go. For the one that's simply as an accompaniment. And now the other way. Okay, very good. Now we're going to do the 3 and 5 of the chord, lightly touching, and mostly bringing out this note here. Now we want to keep this as long tones, not doing it as fast as I'm doing, but a little slower. Now let's do it the other way. We're going to do 1 and 3. Okay, now let's go ahead and touch lightly while we bring out the top note. On electronic keyboards, this may be a little bit more difficult. It's better to play this kind of exercise on a real piano. Okay, here we go. The other way. Alrighty, very good. Now we're going to do all 3 notes of the chord. Let's go. Here we go. Barely touching. now we're gonna play all three chords, not like an even chord, but we want to bring out the top note only. Here we go. Really feel the weight of the right part of the hand as you play all three notes, and then of course the left hand as you play all three notes beside it. Alrighty then, so that's a pretty good exercise that we can try, both with power chords, the 3 and 5 or the 1 and 2, and then all three together. We're trying to strengthen that part of the hand. Later on, we'll be introduced to some hand-on exercises and some charity exercises or other pieces of music that will help us develop this skill and technique a little bit more. So until then, practice it that way. Maybe even if you want to expand it a little bit and play it as octave chords, that's a really good idea. That actually may be easier when you're spreading your hand apart a little bit. Or another way is simply to play octaves. And then the weight is down here. Just like that. And that appears to be a really amazing technique that we can apply to our music. So let's do it both as triads and as octave chords, or simply just octaves. And we'll discuss more about this later in your lesson. Good luck.